he is in the Basketball Hall of Fame, College Basketball Hall of Fame. Only Coach K has more all-time wins than this man. Pleased to have here on the Rich Eisen Show Syracuse Orange head coach Jim Boeheim. How are you, Coach?
Hey, Rich, good to talk to you.
It's been a long time.
I know. Well, you never forget the Syracuse roots.
Well, you know what? My brother-in-law went there. One of my producers, Chris Brockman, who's sitting right across from me, he went there. Pretty much everybody who worked at ESPN either strolled through the Newhouse School, you know. So
they're all out there, and they're not nice to me. I don't like that.
Well, you know what? But that's what they teach there at the Newhouse School, right?
I think so.
Well, they don't teach you not to be not nice to you. I guess it's just, you know, try to be balanced.
Well, I didn't realize when I was a younger coach I was hard on media. Obviously, I'm not that hard anymore. I used to be when I was younger, and I didn't realize all these guys were going to leave Newhouse and be mad at me and get out there in the world.
Look at
now
that.
They're going to be, every state in the union's got those guys, and they're all getting back at me.
Yeah, Coach Boeheim here on the Rich Eisen Show. Okay, so now you are a 10 seed in the Midwest. You've heard, I'm sure, many people talk about how other resumes deserved to have selection into the big dance as opposed to you. What do you say to something like that?
Well, we had
Coach?
5 wins against the top 50 and 8 against the top 100. How many had that?
That you are the only one to do that, correct?
I think we were the only ones, and 3 of the top wins were on the road.
Well,
so the top 50 wins were at Duke and Connecticut and Texas A&M on a neutral court. And, you know, obviously in Notre Dame, St. Bonaventure here. And then we had some close to top 50 wins with Florida State, Virginia Tech, and Georgia Tech being 80 or better. So we had 8 wins there. I think that's the bottom line. 3 of our last 5 wins were we were 2 points down at North Carolina with 40 seconds to go, and we were tied with Louisville with 4 minutes to go, and we were tied at Virginia with 5 minutes to go. So, I mean, I think we're a pretty good basketball team. We played in a tough conference. We had the toughest schedule in our conference. We played the top 5 teams in our conference on the road. So, in other words, North Carolina, Virginia, Miami, Duke, Pittsburgh, Florida State, 5 of the top 6 teams we played on the road.
Did you lobby Joe Castiglione or anybody in the tournament?
Never talked to anybody on the committee.
Okay. So it's just one of those things where you just hoped that these information would be taken into account.
Well, I know that they're going to do their job, and they're going to look and who had the wins, the top 50 or top 100 wins. They're going to look at that. And when you look at the bubble teams, we all had 12 or 13 losses. So, you know, that didn't separate anybody. So it's now a matter if the committee decides or somebody decides someday, are you going to take a smaller team with 25 wins, 7 losses, but no top 50 wins over a team that has 5 top 50 wins? And that's a committee decision. I know this has bit me before. In 2007, we were 10-8 in the Big East, and the Big East was the best league in the country that year. We finished tied for 4th. We had no big non-conference wins, and they told us, and we were not invited to the tournament.
Do you think the fact that you were not there for the first 9 games and you
had nothing to do with anything?
Because there are some teams that feel that they've been left out, and that's not a metric that should have been taken into account with your candidacy for selection.
Well, there's no reason they couldn't take it into account. We've been punished by the NCAA infractions committee. The basketball committee isn't supposed to punish us. They're supposed to take the best teams. That's their charge. It doesn't say the best teams, but if they've had trouble with the NCAA, you know, it doesn't say that. It just says the best teams. So they can take into consideration, I'm sure they've said, well, you know, they didn't do so well, but that's not why we got in the tournament. That has I believe that has nothing to do with it. We got in the tournament because we have those 8 wins. And no one else on the bubble had those.
Syracuse head coach Jim Boeheim joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. Okay, so what issues does Dayton present to you, Coach?
Well, they beat us 2 years ago.
Sure.
So we know how good we knew then how good they were, and they're as good now or better. So, you know, there's no question in my mind they won the Atlantic 10. Atlantic 10 is a really good league. They won it. and they're extremely well coached. They play great defense. They shoot the ball well from the three-point line. When you look at their team, they got all the answers you need to have to be a winning basketball team, and we don't. We've got some flaws, and we need to play at a high level to compete with Dayton.
What's the difference? I mean, obviously, you've been through this before. You've won it all. So the question is what do you tell your kids who have not been through this about the pressure of the one and done?
Well, the two seniors have been in the tournament. They understand it. I think everybody just got through the conference tournament where we played a really good game. We had the ball late in tie game and didn't make a play. So we lost, and so they've had a one and done already. That is the value of a conference tournament. It gives you kind of that feel of one and done. So I think that they understand that, and they understand they're going to be in a tough game, and it's going to come down to a play here or play there. And we've got 3 freshmen in our 7 guys that play, so they're learning. They've learned a lot this year. They've had good years, but for us to win, we have to play well. I mean, we have played well. We've got some games against really good teams that we played really well, and we did win. So we know what we have to do to win, but that doesn't make it any easier. Everybody's in the same boat. You have one bad game and you're done playing, and everybody's been through that. I've been through it, and sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. And but the players are looking forward to it. It's a great playing in the tournament. Should be fun. You shouldn't put a huge amount of pressure on yourselves. You should just go out there to play against a great team and try to play great basketball. And if you're good enough, then you can win. If you're not, then you go home.
Coach, I'm my compadre Chris Brockman. Your Syracuse class of what, Chris Brockman? Which Syracuse?
2002.
Okay. Do you have a question for your coach?
Yeah, Coach. Last week was the 10th year anniversary of Jerry McNamara's shot against Cincinnati and that epic run in the Big East tournament. What are your memories from that crazy stretch to win that championship? And do you ever look down the bench and wish you could put Jerry in the game?
Many times. But I remember the shot against Cincinnati like it was yesterday. We needed the win. We had to win the game, or we weren't going to go to the NCAA tournament. He dribbles over half court, and somehow in my mind I said, he's making this. I don't know why. It wasn't even a jump shot. It was a running one-hander, and the ball just went dead in, and we got in the tournament because of that, and we ended up winning the Big East tournament. But that one shot, I think, got us into the NCAA tournament. And you don't ever forget those kind of shots.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of a former player, I was reading about what Derek Coleman's up to these days, Coach.
Well, Derek's the most misunderstood player I've ever had. He's been back in the inner city of Detroit since he retired, trying to help things. He's helped the Y, helped the boys club where he grew up. He's put his own money into stuff. And, he's in Flint, obviously, raising money, helping people. And he invested in the city of Detroit and lost a ton of money trying to build up the city that he grew up in. And I think people have the impression of Derek as this big, strong guy that's always scowling at people. But, he's got a big heart. He's got a big heart, and he's been a great alum for us, and he's done a lot in his community. And that's what you like to see from your former players, that they go back and try to help people. And Derek has done that.
Yeah, he's handing out water bottles door to door in Flint. And then last one for you is Carmelo in New York. It just seems that it's a bit of a struggle for him to deal with the losses, the pressure that comes with it. I'm sure you saw there was a little bit of a set to with a fan. How much contact do you have with Carmelo and talk to him?
We talk from time to time, and he loves New York. I tried to get him to go to Chicago when the time was there, but he loves New York, and he thinks they can turn it around. They are a little better this year, but I told him when he went there that if you lose, it's going to be on your shoulders. And he's got big shoulders. He's not going to walk away from it. He wants to stay there. He wants to win in New York, but I think it is going to be tough, but he's doing the best he can.
Yeah, why'd you counsel him about Chicago?
Well, they had such a good team. You know, they had the perfect. Rose was coming back, and Gasol and Butler, and Thibodeau I thought was and is a great coach.
Right.
I thought it was a great place for him.
Well,
but, he liked New York.
Coach, thanks for the time. Good luck against Dayton, and I hope to chat down the road with you again.
Thanks, appreciate it.
You bet. That's Jim Boeheim.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.